I'm going to try something different today. And in front of you right now, you have the weekly Intel newsletter. And this week release, titled Sequence is the System. This is brief number 24 from the weekly Intel. And I figured I'm going to share what I read. I'm not going to read a portion of this newsletter to you. So our subtitle today for Sequence is the System is I cried for 30 minutes. Then I built a weapon out of what made me cry. And the purpose of me reading my newsletter to you is because my goal is to get good at reading. It's not something that I feel the confidence in as much as I can feel confident about speaking. But reading is a difficult thing, and I'm gonna show you why. And this week newsletter is the reason why. So recently dropped one of my podcast episodes that I had a really good discussion with my friend Rachel Cronin. You can check that out on Memoirs Millions podcast. And also, for the folks that are following the journey, we're looking for 250 authors, part of the beta program for launch of Life Changing Wisdom Marketplace. The folks that want to write their memoir, so you can check that out at lifechangingwisdom.com. But now let's get into room number one for the article. So the enemy you cannot name is the one running your life. Is there a moment in your life when you read words and you feel they feel too familiar? You read something written by a stranger and find yourself standing in the midst of it. The moment you recognize yourself there, that recognition reaches back and pins you to the sentence. You cannot move forward because something in you already knows that what is written there was written about you. Your mind arrives a few seconds after your body. What your mind finds waiting is a set of words about a pattern you had carried for years without anyone giving it a name. Then the feelings come, the quiet, sudden kind, the kind that moves through you slowly because the thing that had been moving deep inside you, unnamed all this time, finally has a name. I can recall that moment twice in my life. Now here's the good part. The first time was in 2016. I was still in the military, and I tried a medication for ADHD. For the first time, a piece of what lived inside me had a name. Not the whole of me, the part that had been asking for help the longest. The medication found that piece and helped it settle, but underneath it, something else kept moving. Something that wore no label, that ran quiet and unnamed beneath the layer that now had one. The second time came 7 years later in 2023. I looked up the symptoms of dyslexia, and this is where it gets interesting. I had heard the word before, the way you hear a word that belongs to other people. I had never thought to look it up or to look inside it. Then I read the list, and before I understood why I was crying, the tears were already falling. They kept falling, and I sat there in them for 30 minutes, just unable to stop. What I had not known was waiting on me, because the list described a person I had been living with for decades. I was reading my own biography written by a stranger. The first symptom said the person can speak their thought with ease but freezes when they try to write it down. I stopped scrolling. The second one said they read a sentence and the words slide off, so they read it again and again. I leaned in closer. The third one said they learned to hide it so well it disappeared. Man, I'm telling you, I was feeling that. I was not reading anymore. The list was reading me. I have not been formally diagnosed with dyslexia. What I have is recognition, the kind that will not let you scroll past the line that knew your name before you did. I got curious. I started pulling the pieces apart, starting how my brain worked on its own terms. So when the dyslexia list landed the same way, I already knew what to do. I had done it before. I found 3 moves that changed everything. The page stopped being the first place the words went. This is what a system is. A sequence I found, name, and a sequence I found, named and rearranged on purpose. Your turn. You're carrying a sequence right now that you have not taken apart yet. What is a sequence you have been running without a name? As you can tell right now, I'm gonna stop here. As you can tell right now, the process of me reading something, to see why I have to read over and over, because as I'm looking at the screen right now, there's a skill to reading, and my brain hasn't figured it out the way it's supposed to figure it out. My brain have difficulty just following the line, following the horizontal line, just moving across, because sometimes like my brain doesn't work that way. So it's been a very difficult challenge for me, and I've been working on this for a lot of years deliberately now, to really get into how do I read something and follow along, but how do I read out loud? And I was very insecure about this. I've been showing you for the last few weeks. I've been very insecure about this because it's been such a difficult thing for me to actually sit and read something out loud for other people. Now I can read stuff for myself, and sometimes I have to read multiple times for me to get it, because sometimes my eyes just glass over the words, or I'm projecting words that are not there, and I'm saying things that are not there, and it's been a challenge for my brain. Now you might have some of the same challenge too. You might have it, but either way, I have decided I'm gonna get better at this thing, and with your help and with just coming out loud and just sharing it, you might be a person that's going through some of the same challenges, but we got to work on getting better, because my brain has been programmed a certain way over multiple years, multiple decades, to do stuff a certain way. But how do I create new pathways in my own brain to look at things differently? So this is a weakness. This is an area of a weakness for me. Reading stuff out loud, reading and following the script, following the line. So when you see me do this, I'm deliberately doing it because I want to get better at it. Because one of my heroes is Earl Nightingale. And if you know Earl Nightingale, you can look him up. But he was a radio personality way back in the mid 1900s, and he does a really good job at putting together his message and reading it from a teleprompter and just delivering it on the radio. And I was like, man, I like how he does his stuff. And sometimes you wouldn't even know that he's reading the script because he does it so well. And I'm like, oh, inspire me. I want to figure out a way to get as good as that guy, right? But same thing here. But it's a weakness I discover, and it's something that I'm deliberately doing stuff to kind of figure out. So now here's the newsletter. You can go through it, and I like to include in my newsletter some of my tools right now. Right now, I'm sharing this tool, developmental editing tool. Right now, I call it part of my Recipe 13 editing suite, where help you with developmental editing. That means you plug it into your system, whatever AI tool you're using. You can help you build the proper skills inside of the system so you can start editing. Same thing, I have this other tool which I worked on. It's called a compass, which is kind of like take an idea, you descend into it, you ascend out of it, you go backwards in the past, you go forward in the future, but it's going to help you take an idea. If you can lock in the thesis and you can just play with it, and it works so well. So come check out the newsletter. Room 3 got more deep, got some things in here you can use to kind of work on your own strategy. But go check out the newsletter. And with that, again, Memoirs to Millions community is working its way in shaping the lives of those who want to write their memoirs. And if you want to be part of this community, come join us at memoirs2millions.com. Check out the YouTube channel, Memoirs to Millions YouTube channel, and also you can be part of the marketplace I'm launching right now in the beta season of it, working through some of the bugs and stuff, but getting it out there, because the goal is to solve the problem of writing and deploying your memoir for the regular folks that want to take the message to the world, to have a conversation in the world through their story. With that, folks, make it an utterly fantastic day.